Hey guys, so this here is the Sunapex. It's a 20-watt solar charger. So the reason I bought this is because I keep my boat at a storage area, but the area doesn't have any outlets. It's basically more towards, the boat is basically still outside, but unfortunately we live in an HOA, so I can't keep my boat in here, basically on my property. So this was purchased to try to help keep my batteries up to par, because when I bring my boat here, it's basically to clean it and, take out fishing stuff or whatever we're doing for the day, but it doesn't give like a battery charger really enough time while the boat is on my property to actually keep it up to par. So this year I'm hoping it's going to solve that problem, and it was recommended by an associate at work that said, why don't you just get a solar charger? We live in Florida, so it's a good idea. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to put this in the description now so you can see basically what it is. It's purchased on Amazon. I'll show you the price on there. And we're going to unbox this thing because I never had one of these solar chargers before, so I really don't know what to expect out of it, but it's supposed to be the latest and greatest. I'm sure it came out in 2024. We're in 2025 now, but on the Amazon site, this one here seemed to be the latest and greatest one that they probably had. So there may have been a couple of better ones or whatever. I don't know if I should say better, but there was a couple of different styles, but I at least wanted the 20-watt one. I know some of them are maybe 10 or 15 watts or whatever, but I wanted something I could throw some more juice in because I do have two big batteries on this particular boat, and I want to make sure that they stay up to charge. And this one here is supposed to have a smart charge system where it can bring it up to a charge and then hold it and shut down, and then I don't know if it decharges and then charges back up again to keep it fluctuating, or if that's a setting you can pick just in case your boat's going to be stored for a while. But in any case, the boat I use, because we live in Florida, it doesn't really sit for all that long, even though with the weather we've been having, it has been sitting for about at least minimum 2 months now that it's been sitting not being used. So anytime your boat's going to sit like that, things are going to happen to it. So one of the things you don't want to happen is basically get to the boat ramp and then discover that your battery is dead. So this one here seems like it comes with most of the stuff I need. My biggest thing, I don't know if I'm going to have enough cable or line for the connection to connect to the battery and then put up on the top of my T-top, which basically is kind of where I want to have, and I won't be able to do that until I get this to the boat, which today it's a rainy, horrible day. Unfortunately, in the wintertime down in Florida, we get a lot of rainy, cool days. So it's only about maybe, I don't know, upper 50s today, and it's rainy, it's windy. So I'm not going to have a chance to take this over there today, but when we have a chance, I will record that to make sure that you guys get to see how this thing is mounted. So it gives you some suction cups. I think most of this is basically for if you want to try to like maybe put it to a window or something like that, suction cup it to a window. I've seen these things used in vehicles before, like cars and stuff, where they, keep this inside the vehicle and they stick it to the window or whatever like that. It's, I want to say IP67 waterproof, so it shouldn't have any issues with being out in the elements, because in my circumstance, this will be out in the elements. It's not going to be inside a vehicle. So it gives you 4 suction cups there. We'll take this little styrofoam piece off here. And you have one wire that's attached to the unit. the dimensions of the wiring too, they give you in the before purchase. This, I believe, was like one of the longer wire lengths, and I want to say it was around total with this portion here and the actual connection. It was close to being, I want to say 9 feet. I could be off on that, but so at 9 feet, once again, it'll be close because my T-top is high. So I'm thinking it's going to be really close, and I might not even, once again, I might not be able to get it on top of the T-top like I like, but as long as I can get it to a point where the boat actually receives sunlight, I should be fine. And what I liked about this one here is it has these little holes, basically. I want to say probably where the suction cups would go. I'm not sure if you attach them with ties or whatever, but I don't plan on doing that. I plan on probably using ties, the plastic tie strips, just to secure it to wherever I'm trying to put it to. So that's why I kind of like the idea of having the holes that were actually built into the unit. And these two, I'm assuming you can clip these in through the holes and then attach these onto whatever you want to. I'm not sure about wind and stuff, if this will leave, you know, attaching it this way, if this will leave this thing swinging. Because you definitely don't want it banging into anything. So if the wind gets high, you don't want this thing smacking around. So I'm not sure I would use these type of clips on it. That's why I'm saying the ties I could actually put pretty tight. So the alligator clips is probably what I'm going to use because I got 2 batteries on the boat. And even though they give you this, which is the little connectors that you would remove some of your bolts and connect this for the quick connect portion of it. If I only had 1 battery I was charging, probably would I use this? Yeah, maybe, because this might make it easier to, you know, connect the unit up quicker or whatever. But I shouldn't even say quicker, but more secure of a connection, I guess. But what I think I'm going to do is probably primarily use the alligator portion of it. That way, say for a few days or something like that, I'll leave it connected to 1 battery, and then I'll have to drive back over there and then connect it to the other battery. Because even though the batteries are connected in a way where the charging system, when the boat's running, you can flick the switch on the Perco switch, you can switch it over, and I believe, you know, that helps charge both batteries or draw from both batteries. I don't believe that I could charge just 1 battery and charge them both. But that's something I'll have to figure out as I use this thing, if it seems like the other battery is getting charged in conjunction with the one I'm connecting with the terminals, to see if it's actually charging both or not. It probably doesn't. That's why I'm thinking I'm going to have to swap the batteries around, or swap the connection around on the batteries. So these additional wires that they give you, like even this one, they're not super long. So the majority of the length you're going to get is coming from the unit itself. You're not going to get much. I think these are under 2 feet from the connector to the actual tip. It's probably like 1.6 or something like that. I believe I read somewhere around that, where you're getting a little bit of extra length. Then they give you this cigarette lighter connection, or cigarette accessory, however you want to call it. And then they give you another connection too. I'm not particularly sure how this would exactly work to a cigarette or whatever portion to charge. I don't know if this, you know, if the system, some systems are designed to actually take a charge through the lighter port. That's something there I would have to read up on. My boat does have an accessory / cigarette port lighter, but I don't use it, so I don't even know if it works. So I really don't think I'll be using that at all. Hang on one second here. So let's pull this out. I don't really want to tug from that wire there, because that's actually, I don't know if it's just hot glued or regular glued on to this unit, but that's why, I mean, if you left this thing swinging, and I'm hoping this is secured like super, super good, so that if it takes bumps or whatever, you don't lose any type of circuitry connection inside there. But it's really light. I mean, I don't know what to really compare it to. I mean, like maybe a heavier piece of cardboard or something like that, but it's really light. It's super thin. Maybe a 1/16 thick or so for thickness on this thing. And then basically this is the portion that would have to face upwards. So, or outwards, upwards, outwards. As long as this is getting sunlight, then supposedly, you know, you're getting juice to whatever you're connecting it to. So, and once again, I want to say this works more like a trickle charger versus a quick charger. Even though it is 20 watts, it's probably going to be quicker maybe than a normal trickle charger, possibly, because I don't really see anywhere where you would change settings on this thing. It's not like I see a switch or anything that, you know, tells you what charge you're doing. So once again, have to read up on it. I haven't really done any of that yet because I bought a bunch of stuff for the boat, and once again, this is the time that I'm using, because in the summertime the boat gets used a lot more. So in the winter time, even though I'm still in Florida, this is my time to actually do some stuff for maintenance and upkeep on it. So as I go, I guess I can add more to this video, but this is basically it in a nutshell, what I'm going to try to do to keep my batteries charged while it's being at in the life of the boat. For the time I have it, it's probably going to be at the storage place or a storage place in general. And unless you find one that has an outlet and they let you use electricity over there and stuff like that, which I'm assuming they'll charge more for. I know if you keep your boat in the water, a lot of times at a dock, you obviously have power, so you could plug your stuff in that way. But in a storage rental place or whatever, a lot of times you're probably going to have to invest in something like this. And I've had the boat now for probably about a year or so, maybe a little bit longer, and I never worried about it until we had, you know, particularly cold winter so far. And the last time I brought the boat home to clean it, I noticed that it was starting slower. So definitely, and do I need to replace the batteries? Possibly, but I'm going to try to do this first to see, you know, if I can extend the life of these batteries out. And if not, replace the batteries, but still use something like this to help maintain the batteries, because you don't want your batteries to drop too low, because once they do, usually they're junk. And could be the case with the batteries that I have in the boat now, but hopefully not. So yeah, I'll probably end up just using ties, mount this somewhere, or figure out if I can use something like this. This would be quicker, I guess, because I wouldn't have to keep cutting the ties every time I use the boat. And I could just unclip it, take this off, put it in my truck, leave it there, and then when I'm done with the boat, clip these back on or whatever. So there'll be a couple of different things I'll think about, because the ties, once you know, pull them tight, you know, the thing usually doesn't move anywhere, but then you got to keep cutting it off. So this would actually be better in the long run if I could use something like this, but I don't know if I can or not. And it's like, I mean, you could just tie it with, you know, a piece of material or something like that, tie it in like some kind of slip knots or whatever type of knot you want to make, and put them on that way too. So just different ideas, but this kind of isn't a bad idea. But unless you get all 4 corners to be able to do this, now they only sent you with 2 of these, so not like you can't pick these up at Walmart super damn cheap. So for a couple of bucks you probably can get these or even better ones. And if you could connect it on 4 sides so the thing doesn't, you know, blow around in the wind, this would actually probably be your best option to secure it somehow. So alright guys, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, I won't have any answers on this until I start using it, but yeah, hopefully this pans out and just another idea to help, you know, in this particular case with a boat battery and stuff that I don't have access to power in a location where it's stored. So okay guys, so here's the unit basically mounted up. I did end up using the little clips that came with it, quick clips that you can just take on and off. Yeah, the wind is gonna blow it, but it seems light enough where I don't think if the wind is too heavy it's gonna get damaged, but I guess only time will tell. The wire was plenty long enough. I ran it to the front first, and then I said I'm gonna keep it on the side because the way the sun is around here, obviously from the east to the west, it rises. Where the boat's positioned, I think this is going to be the best spot to keep it, is right on the side here. That way, whether it's coming up or going down, it's still going to get daylight. I did notice that my 2 batteries down there, they both got to be replaced. They're both in really rough shape. I can't make out the date on them until I get it back to the house, but you can see how the wire, I use the alligator clips down there. One's on the negative, one's on the positive. So yeah, for me the alligator clips work. Basically, I'm glad I did this because I noticed that the connections that were actually on my backup battery is totally broken. It rusted, so the backup battery isn't even working right now. And in the back here, these 2 blue and red lights. The blue means that it's charging from the sun, and the red light means that it's charging. So, or it's not ready yet. When the light goes green, that means that basically you're fully charged. So it seems to be operating correctly, and these lights came on almost immediately once I plugged it in and then held the unit out in the sun. So it understands that it's picking up the solar rays right now and that it's in the process of charging. So for now, yeah, this boat is only running on 1 battery. I don't even know how long it's been like that for. This recently could have happened, or it could have happened a while back, because I mean, when I'm out there jumping waves and stuff like that, it's, you know, rusty items are gonna basically give on you. So that's it in a nutshell. You can see that it's pretty easy. It only took me a matter of minutes to connect this up. So hopefully, you know, we'll keep that battery charged enough for now, just in case I want to use it. Just knowing that I'm on 1 battery, I don't think I'd be going out far, being that I'm on 1 battery right now. But I got to get those batteries, both of them I'm going to replace, and then I'll still use this in the storage, because you can see I'm in a storage area here, and basically there's no outlets anywhere. This is just a metal building that the boat is parked around. So I got to do what I got to do to try to keep these batteries maintained. Obviously when I get the new ones, they'll be a little bit more important than these old ones right now. But alright, that's in a nutshell. Any questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. I'll try to keep you posted and see if this thing actually will charge up this old battery, and if I eventually get a green light on there, I'll be able to tell if this thing's actually, you know, good enough. This is the 20-watt version. I think there's one bigger than this, a 30-watt version. But
we'll see what happens with this one. All right, hopefully that helps. Questions, comments, leave them in there. Peace.